Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their Sunday. That's right, folks. Today is Sunday, and we've got a very thick and chunky show for you today. That's right, folks. Today we're going to be focusing on a very special and unique topic, which is going to be larger Liberty-style rounds. But before we get into today's topic, I need to go over a couple of housekeeping things. I think it was yesterday on Instagram we had posted up a sale for our Armillary coins. Now, we are running a store here, and so we, from time to time, go through periods of liquidation, right? There are certain items that we may, have excess inventory of. For example, prospectors. Prospectors are something we have quite a few of in stock, and so prospectors are something that we have priced very competitively, and that is something that we are moving every single day, okay? We're selling through multiple prospectors every single day. And so when it comes down to kind of smaller silver, silver is kind of a more accessible form, I would say, of precious metals. And so I would say for beginners, it's a little bit less of an intimidating thing to invest in, right? Because you can generally get it at a lower, maybe not unit cost when you're talking about a per ounce cost, but you can get a smaller amount of silver for a very affordable price, and it's very obtainable by anybody, right? Now, when you get into gold, fractional gold, premiums can be very high. 1 ounce of gold can be very expensive, and so when it comes down to gold, collectible, non-collectible, any type of gold, it becomes a little bit more daunting, right? How am I going to approach this? How am I going to stack this? But when it comes down from a store perspective, right, you got a certain inventory that's, maybe you don't have a whole lot of, right? Like these rounds, for example. I've only got a couple of these rounds because it's not a very common round, okay? So we don't have a very huge inventory of those types of rounds. When somebody's interested in them, we're not able to actually let them go for a very good price, because in some cases we might not be able to replace it at all. There might not be any availability with any of our suppliers. There might not be any more of those items left because for whatever reason, maybe the production has stopped on those, the mintage is very low on those. It could be a wide variety of reasons why you might not be able to get your hands on something, and so because of that, the premiums result of that, right? The premium that we have to pay to obtain certain pieces that are a little bit more highly collectible or a little bit more rare, we have to pay that premium. That premium is then passed over to the next buyer, and that's kind of how the collectible market goes, especially when things become discontinued and you're not able to buy them from the original supplier. What happens is that you can only purchase those items on the secondary market, perhaps from collectors, from other distributors who may potentially sell those same types of products that they have gotten on the secondary market, and all those things will, the secondary like vintage stuff, for example, that's always going to be sold kind of like as is, because it could be sort of tarnished and things like that. But I guess the point that I was trying to make is that, because I did kind of go on a huge rant there that had nothing to do with Liberty rounds, that had nothing to do with the point that I was actually trying to make. The point that I was actually trying to make is that certain stores have large, vast amounts of inventory. Some of that is higher premium stuff, some of it is lower premium stuff, and the prices, you'll find that when you're shopping around, different stores will have different prices, right? So you gotta always shop around, because every store's inventory and every store's mindset and long-term vision and how they envision their store running now and in the future and how they're changing it from the past, it differs. And everybody's inventory differs, right? You may have one store that has thousands of prospectors in stock, and they have no American Silver Eagles in stock, and then you might have another retailer where they have nothing but American Silver Eagles that they're selling at higher premiums, and there's no vintage options, there's no prospect rounds, there's nothing, right? For expensive, for cheap, for nothing, right? So certain stores may specialize. You might go to one store that specializes only in jewelry, right? And then you find that when they do have silver and bullion in stock, it's crazy cheap because they don't specialize in that, right? So each store has their different specialization, and they have their different inventory that they're managing. And so sometimes any store, they might have less inventory, and so they need to increase their prices on a particular item, but they may have more inventory, and then they're able to offer those items at a very competitive price. One, because they got them at a competitive price. Two, because they might just be trying to liquidate and generate capital for other items or for other reasons, right? So right now, I wanted to bring to your attention something that we have for a very good price. This is 1 ounce of gold. Not only is it 1 ounce of gold, but it's a legal tender piece of gold that can be broken down into 4 separate fractional pieces of gold. And so I think this type of a piece right here, it comes in the certified assay card. It's Swiss gold, right? So it's Volcambi Swiss, so it's reputable company. It's marked with the purity and weight on each fractional piece. So this has multiple layers of value, right? If you were to go out and seek out, okay, what's the best type of 1 ounce piece of gold I should buy? Well, you're going to want to stay away from something like this, right? Because this is going to be obviously super high premium, right? It has multiple layers of value, and obviously for each of those multiple layers of value, you need to go through and pay an extra premium for that. So because this comes in a cute little plastic case, you're definitely gonna have to pay a little bit of a premium for that, at least like $5 or $10, $15. Sometimes they might charge you $50 for that. Okay, then on top of that, it's fractional. So anytime you have fractional gold, for example, if you were gonna go buy a 1/4 ounce gold piece, I wouldn't expect to get that for below $500, right? Because right now spot's running about $19.50, right? So if you were to be able to get an ounce of gold at $50 above spot, I mean, I don't know much about buying gold because I don't buy it very, very frequently in the 1 ounce variety. I generally like to buy smaller denominational gold, but if I was in the market for 1 ounce of gold, yeah, I'd pay $50 above spot if I was trying to get a good deal on it. Because every dealer has their markup, they're obviously not going to give it to you for spot, but sometimes they might. Sometimes you might get lucky, you might get gold at spot or below spot. Then you should definitely be sniping it if you have the capital to do so, right? Now, when it comes to fractional gold, though, I would say for a 1/4 ounce of gold, if you were just to get only a 1/4 ounce and not buy a whole ounce of gold at a time, I think like finding it for under 500 would be quite difficult. I think probably the market's running closer to like 550. You know, you're going to probably have to pay like a $7,500 premium, I'm thinking, on a normal piece of gold. I mean, you might be able to find something less, like more generic or something, but if you're trying to buy like a coin or something like that, yeah, it's probably going to be the premium. So fractional will carry a higher premium as opposed to like gold. If you were just buying a normal 1 ounce of gold, full, non-fractional, then you're probably going to be able to get that for close to like, I don't know, $2,000 or something, maybe definitely like probably less than 2,100, I would say, with spot running 1950. Okay, so you're going to be able to save a little bit of money by buying a full ounce versus fractional, for sure. Because fractional is always going to carry a premium. Okay, now when you're looking at a coin versus a round, for example, well, this isn't either. This isn't a bar round. This is kind of like a coin, actually. This would be considered a coin because this has a legal tender backing. Each one of these fractional 1/4 ounce rings is actually $25 legal tender in the Cook Islands. Okay, so it's a total of $100 legal tender. And so if you were to just like buy this for whatever the market value is, like $2,000 and change, then you're going to at least be able to rely technically that if you go to the Cook Islands and you can go and trade this in for $100. Who's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. The same way nobody's going to go and trade their eagles in for their face value. You know, they're always going to be able to rely on the silver value or the gold value, and that's going to more than likely be worth more than whatever the fiat currency is for that country. But regardless, that's why I personally think that legal tender backing is kind of a, you know, I wouldn't say it's a scam, but it's kind of just like a gimmicky type of thing, right? Because who the heck is going to rely on the actual face value of a legal tender coin? But with that said, people enjoy the historical significance of legal tender backing. People have financial, perhaps tax reasons for purchasing legal tender backed coins, and some people just simply only buy legal tender backed coins because they feel that is more trustworthy. Okay, so because of that, legal tender coins always carry a premium as well. If you're going to go buy a maple, if you're going to go buy an eagle, it's going to cost you more than a generic buffalo. That's just the way the market runs. Okay, so because this has multiple layers of value, you're going to have to pay a premium for this. These are also not very common. I've only ever seen these or been able to purchase these from ATMEX, so they perhaps might be like an exclusive supplier or something, and that's where we've gotten all of our Armillary coins as well. So these are very difficult to find outside of, when Amex has them in stock. Like right now, Amex has them on pre-sale, which I never understand that. I don't understand how something can be on pre-sale when it's, produced in 2015 and no longer being produced. It makes no sense to me. The same way sometimes their Engelhard stuff goes on pre-sale. Pre-sale? Are you getting that from back in your time machine? You're going to hop in your time machine and now we're just waiting on you to get back from your time machine? So that just confuses me. Right now we've got these available though. And so yesterday on Instagram I had posted up a nice sale where it was kind of an interesting thing. I'd never done it before, but basically we've already got these running on a pretty aggressive promotion. We were able to get these down to just about 100, I would say not $100, but pretty close to our cost basis actually. A little bit above our cost base, enough to offset our fees from the website and just our general small markup on our more items that we've got duplicates of, right? So we've got these priced pretty competitively at the normal price, and so I thought I would do something interesting on Instagram yesterday where I would put a couple of coupon codes up. And so I put up like a single coupon code where that was tied to this specific product, and if you use that coupon code, and it's still available actually, so if you go onto the Silver Bar Stacker Instagram page, then you'll actually be able to grab that coupon code if it's still available at the time that this video is recording and use that coupon code. So that coupon code actually gave you $150 off of the sale price of this. So that actually brought this down from $23.50 down to basically $2,200, which is a crazy good deal. That's actually lower than our cost basis on this. Okay, so that's a crazy good deal for whoever is able to claim that, and nobody's claimed it yet. So there's a coupon code that gets you $150 off of a full ounce of fractional legal tender 1 ounce gold. And there's also a second coupon code I put there in case somebody misses out on the $150 off coupon code. There's also another coupon code that's good for one use, just like the first one was, that gives you $100 off if you want to buy one of these. And then, just because I thought it would be fun, I put in a third coupon code, which also hasn't been used yet, and that will give you $50 off the sale price. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of an interesting way. I mean, I thought it was cool. Obviously, nobody else thought it was cool because nobody's used the coupon codes yet. And it's a big purchase, obviously, right? It's a big purchase. It's a high premium purchase. So, nobody's going to be, these aren't very liquid items. That's all I'm going to say, right? If you were to buy one of these, you're going to be sitting, it's going to be hard to find a buyer because you're going to pay a premium. You're going to have to sell it at a higher premium. Dealers will probably give you near melt probably for this, right? Unless they specialize in selling them, then they might give you a little bit of a premium over it. Okay, but if you are in the market for one of these, then that's actually a crazy good price because it's lower than what this dealer that you're hearing speaking right now got them for. And so I thought that would be an interesting way to kind of liquidate some of the merchandise that we got a little bit of excess of that we're kind of just trying to get rid of in a timely fashion to individuals who might be interested in them. I just thought that would be a cool way to run a promotion. So I think it's cool. Now many other people think it's cool. Now that I've told you, maybe somebody here might be interested in picking up one of these and getting a good deal on it. So go ahead and use one of those coupon codes if you like. But what I actually thought would be even more fun was that I thought I'd give a YouTube exclusive opportunity for you individuals to grab yourselves not just $150, $100, or $50 off, but $200 off of this bad boy. So right now our normal price on this thing, and we've got multiple available, so if you don't get to any of these coupon codes and none of them end up working once you see this video, we do still have a few more available. But the normal price for these that we have, our sale price, is $2,350 roughly. And so if you use that one and only available $200 off coupon code, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you are looking at $2,150 out the door for this bad boy shipped. That's a crazy good deal in my opinion. That's only about a $200 premium right now if you're thinking about spot price. So anyways, enough about these weird looking coins. I've got all the information for what I just talked to you about in the description, and let's get into the topic for today. Now, as you know, I'm a huge fan of MTB, Manfred Tardella and Brooks Liberty Trade Silver bars and rounds, and so I'm a huge fan of them. I've kind of gone over some of the different variations of the Liberty Trade rounds on a past video, and if if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out and get yourself a refresher. We also have some of these different, Liberty rounds produced by Engelhard and Johnson Matthey available on the website after we had run that video. So go ahead and check those things out if you'd like to. In addition to the Liberty Trade rounds, I'm also very much into the Liberty Trade bars, and those kind of become a little bit more complex as well because there's a lot of different types. There's different sizes of bars. They were produced by more than just Johnson Matthey and Engelhard. There was actually some produced by Metal Arts as well. With respect to the rounds, I don't think there was any produced by Metal Arts, but there were some produced by the Mexican Mint, for example. So that's pretty interesting. There are larger Liberty Trade rounds out there. Interesting, right? I know Johnson Matthey has produced some. Don't have any examples of them. I know the Mexican Mint has produced some larger Liberty rounds, and those are MTB Liberty Trade rounds, actually. Larger ones. And so that's something that I'm very much into collecting. I wouldn't say very much into collecting, but when I see them pop up, I definitely try to grab them because it's an interesting piece that I didn't quite know about. And I was thinking to myself, I would like to let you guys know about these at some point when I have a chance. There's a lot of things I like to discuss, and I like to keep the topics organized a little bit. And so this was something that I've been kind of waiting to talk to you guys about and let you know about. But in addition to the MTB Liberty rounds, I just have kind of expanded my interest in Liberty related stuff into other types of the Liberty rounds that perhaps might be larger. And so there's another kind of interesting round that I kind of came across that I thought I would share with you as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the large Liberty rounds that we've got. Now the first one that I wanted to talk about was this bad boy. This one right here is a large chunky 2-ounce round, actually. So it's a 2-ounce chunker. I like 2-ounce rounds, and this is a nice high relief round as well, which I find to be very nice. I always like a nice high relief round. So take a look at this. Liberty Island, and this one right here is actually also a discontinued round. American Landmarks Series. This is actually produced by Elemental Mint, and they're no longer making pieces anymore. So you can't really get these anymore. They're not obtainable easily except on the secondary market, but they're very, very nice. I like a chunky high relief round, and I love the Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. So I just found this to be a very, very nice round. And an interesting fact about these rounds is that these are limited to only about 25,000 each. So it's a pretty low mintage modern collectible, which I felt was a very, very cool addition to the stack. So I thought it would be nice to pick up some of these. So maybe I'll get some of these up on the website as well, and if anybody's interested in picking up one of these, do that. I don't know if I'll get that set up now or later, but if I get it set up now, I'll put the link in the description. Now, we were talking about Liberty Trade rounds and bars and how there's actually some larger variations out there. Now, I was telling you that there are some JM rounds out there when it comes to the Liberty Trade variety, but I don't have any of those examples to show you, and I'm aware of them. Those ones on the rim, actually, of the 10-ounce rounds. I know that there's 10-ounce rounds. I don't know if there's any JM 5-ounce rounds out there. Like, this is a JM round, too. He says JM. This is a Johnson Matthey 1-ounce Liberty Trade round. Johnson Matthey also makes 10-ounce Liberty Trade rounds, but I don't have an example to show you. And you'll be able to identify it because the rim, on part of the rim, it'll have a JM Hammer logo. And it'll also, I believe, have a serial number, if I'm not mistaken, which is very cool. These 10-ounce rounds right here, which are also Liberty Trade, these were actually produced by the Mexican Mint. And the way I know that is because I'm looking right over here. Generally, you'll see maybe an E or like a JM, hammer logo or something to denominate that it's an Engelhard or a Johnson Matthey. But this one right here says OM. OM stamp is for the Mexican Mint. And you know why I like these so much is because they're actually 4.9s fine. So that's very cool. Normal rounds, they'll say 3.9s fine. So I really like how this bad boy is 4.9s fine. It's a 1986 Centennial round, 10-ounce. Now, all of your 1-ounce rounds, generally, they're going to be dated either 1985, 1986. They might be produced by the Mexican Mint. They might be produced by JM. They might be produced by Engelhard, right? So these are the possibilities when it comes to the 1 ounce rounds. When you get to the bigger denominational rounds, there's no, at least on all Engelhard, there's no documentation of any Liberty Trade larger denominational rounds. So there's no 5 ounce, there's no 10 ounce Engelhard Liberty Trade rounds that I'm aware of, okay, or that all Engelhard is aware of. But there are Johnson Matthey 10 ounce Liberty Trade rounds. There are 10 and 5 ounce Mexican Mint Liberty Trade rounds. Now this right here is a very interesting one. I really love this round, possibly even more than the 10 ounce Mexican Mint ones, and I mean definitely more than these. The reason is because this right here, folks, is also produced by the Mexican Mint. This is also not 3/9 but 4/9 fine silver, and this is a 5 ounce Liberty Trade round. But the reason why I love this so much is because this is incredibly unique. This is a proof. This is a proof variation, first of all. So that makes it super cool. On top of that, this is a 1987 dated Liberty Trade round. That is extremely unique. No rounds that I have are 1987 dated when it comes to MTB Liberty Trade. And so this right here was an excellent find in my opinion, because I've never seen this. Never seen this out there. Proof variation of a 1987 Liberty Trade round, 4/9 fine, produced by the Mexican Mint. Me likey. Cheers.